An increasing number of mobile operators are migrating to standalone or SA 5G core platforms in order to unleash the full potential of their next generation networks. So what are the main considerations for those operators right now? Well, I'm talking today with Chandresh Ruparal, Director of the 5G Wireless Core Infrastructure segment at Intel, about this important topic. So, Chandresh, how is Intel working with the industry to get 5G core SA platforms deployed?
First of all, thanks, Ray, for having me. Um, Intel led a broad industry transition to NFV in partnership with leading carriers and ecosystem partners. And today, if you look at the results, as per the latest Delora report, we are way past the crossover point and expecting almost 80% adoption of NFV worldwide in the infrastructure by 2024. That's a significant achievement. In the same manner, we are making substantial investment to make sure that this transition to 5G SA for the carriers is smooth and successful. We are doing this by directly collaborating with carriers so we understand their concerns and their challenges. In fact, we have collaborations with pretty much all of the major carriers worldwide. And a good example of a publicly available success is the work that we did with SK Telecom to implement URLLC, the ultra reliable low latency communication. And that resulted in 78% improvement in latency, 88% improvement in jitter, some phenomenal improvements that ultimately is going into deployment. Secondly, we are a leading provider of silicon and platform technologies into the 5G core. So we are learning and addressing challenges as the carriers deploy 5G SA worldwide. It also allows us the benefit of anticipating the challenges that are on the horizon or coming up as the infrastructure evolves for the carriers. And we are ensuring that these challenges are addressed through product innovation and investment in ecosystem so that these capabilities, technologies are translating quickly into mature commercial products.
And what are the trends and challenges as CSPs transition from 4G to 5G standalone?
So this particular inflection point for the comms industry is especially challenging because there are multiple transitions happening at the same time. You see cloud ready to cloud native transition. You see we are going from a single vendor proprietary core to a multi-vendor 5G service-based architecture, going from a single cloud to multi-cloud environment, from a highly centralized core to a core with distributed edge. And again, the higher level of distribution makes it again very challenging. And in the midst of all these transitions, carriers are looking at how do we get cycle over cycle improvements and significant ones in total cost of ownership. How do we drive ease of deployment, interoperability, automation, and agility in the network?
And how is Intel addressing these challenges?
It's not just important to deliver the technologies to the platform level, and I may have repeated it a few times, I guess, but this is a very important aspect. It has to meet workload level performance, and in particular, the key performance indicators that the carriers are looking for. So Intel works on real world workloads and ecosystem partners, and with ecosystem partners to ensure that we are developing optimizations and best practices that apply to ultimately what's going to be commercially available to the carriers. And these optimizations are with due consideration to real deployment environment of the carriers, which means taking into account the throughput requirements on a per location basis, the space constraints, the features that are necessary to deliver the solution, the rack level architecture, and multiple other considerations that make this uh, really effective in understanding how it benefits the KPIs and the total cost of ownership for the carriers. Um, our investment in cloud native, which is a very important aspect of this multidimensional transition for the carriers, is also a multidimensional investment from Intel side. We invest heavily into industry initiatives and open source communities to deliver and improve areas such as security, observability, packet processing, and automation. We have investments in plugins, Kubernetes operator extensions, in dynamic and automated workload placements, in end-to-end reference architectures that cover a broad set of use cases and deployment scenarios, and multiple other assets that drive ease of deployment. Our focus is that the cloud native implementation and the security framework for the solution is consistent across edge, core, and cloud, so that carriers have the ability to bring the best solutions into their infrastructure without having to worry about, uh, you know, a lot of aspects related to interoperability, support, etc.
How important is the broader industry ecosystem to 5G Core SA developments? And how is Intel working with its partners to maximize the potential for mobile operators?
It's a great question. As I mentioned earlier, the capabilities at the platform level um, don't really help until they translate not only into mature and commercial products from the ecosystem partners, but also address the key performance indicators and the challenges that the carriers uh, need to deliver against. Um, we take this extremely seriously. We already have significant investment because you cannot achieve this unless you already have major investment and partnerships in place. We have deep and broad partnerships across the industry. We work very closely with the ecosystem partners in optimizations, in joint ISV certification programs, in ensuring that we are helping faster adoption of the technologies that are coming up. And very importantly, we have invested in tens of proof of concepts um, across NFV, cloud native, and 5G to ensure that these capabilities, as they are optimized and matured, are really delivering to the carrier requirements. In fact, a great example is our collaboration with HPE. I can proudly say that uh, HPE platforms are already in trial with for 5G SA core with our latest third generation Xeon SP processors that were launched just in April. This is in record time. Um, and, uh, and the GreenLake cloud services, we believe, is in a great position with the right platform infrastructure to address the cloud native requirements as well as the agility that the carriers are looking for.
Okay, so lots of industry collaboration going on there to help the mobile operators. Chandresh, it's been a pleasure talking with you today. Thanks very much for joining us and sharing your insights.
Thank you.